Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. So today's video, we're going to be using some um, texture paste. This is actually going to be from Simon Hurley, and we're going to use his new Astro paste in uh, copper. I think it's, yeah, metallic copper. Of course, I don't have my glasses on, so I can't tell. But I think this is going to go good with These Days collection, which is what I have here. I've already trimmed down my paper to be, I took a half an inch off of each of the sides. So then that way it'll create a nice little border around my paper, my pattern paper, the wood grain. Oh, it's called refined copper. My bad. Okay. And I'm doing this really because the cocoa vanilla paper isn't a very heavy stock of paper. So by putting them two together, I'm hoping that it doesn't cause major warping. There's going to be some warping because of the embossing, the paste, and it being thinner paper. There's going to be some manipulation, okay? So we're going to work on our center strip. I'm cutting it at, I want to say 5 inches. And then we're going to do our stenciling on the right and left side. And at first I was going to use this rope pattern. And then I was like, no, I think I am going to wind up using a star pattern that I used in my live from Sunday. I really like the star, the star cluster that it creates. So I think we're going to do that. I'm also going to create 1-inch strips that's going to go on either side of our rainbow paper. And it's going to have a yellow tone, which once we put them together, we'll wind up doing a little edging with our edger to give it a little bit of a rough texture. And then that's when I'm laying this down to kind of figure out, like, do I want these ropes? I really didn't like that style. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to do the stars. Because I think that I can cover up most of the sides, and there'll still be some open spaces where you can still see, obviously, the wood grain, and it'll peek out from underneath our pattern paper. So all I'm doing with this particular paste, there's nothing to do as far as coloring it. It's already colored. You can kind of see in the jar, it looks a little smoky. You know what I mean? Like it's not the copper color. And that's because it doesn't really get that copper glitter until the paste really dries. So basically, the base is translucent, and once it dries, you're left with this really pretty glitter. I love how it turned out. It's crazy how this copper just goes so well with sort of like the peachy tones. I really love how it turned out. Okay, so we're gonna go down each side, and then anything that I take off, I just scoop right back into the bottle because we're not mixing it with anything. So I know there's no like contamination or anything. So once we're done, I can just scrape it and put it right back into the bottle. Anything that's extra. Okay. And we'll close it up. And if you're not going to be using your paste and stuff right away, what I would suggest is after you open it, put some press and seal. That would help keep it from drying out on you. Okay. And now I'm going to grab my Myers cleaner and spray my tool and the stencil so we can get these cleaned up. I'm not going to make you guys kind of sit with me and watch me clean all this, but I just wanted you to see that's what I was doing. Whenever I can't get away to clean my stencils, I tend to grab that first so that way I can try and get off as much as I can. So here it is, all dry. And now we're going to start layering our papers. So I always put down tape and then I use my wet glue. And now we're going to attach our 1-inch strip kind of in the middle. So basically it's like a 1/4 inch on either side. And you can see I'm kind of like playing and moving because the pattern paper has like a grid to it. So I'm like, I should be able to line this up. But for whatever reason, sometimes it just doesn't line up quite the way you want it to, right? So that glue gives me just a little bit of extra time that I can kind of wiggle and move it about. All right. And then once we get that on the back, you can see there, we're going to lay that down. And then I'm just grabbing, like I said, my edger tool. This is also from Ranger. And I'm just distressing the edge. Nothing too major, just a little bit of something so that it's not just a smooth edge. And we're just doing it on the long end, on each side. And then if you want it to stand out, you could always ink your edges so that way it has like a darker tone on the part that you've been distressing, so it'll stand out a little bit more. But for me, I just wanted the edges not to be so perfect, so I didn't ink them. I just left them plain with the white core of the paper showing. And then make sure it's lined up on the top edge and then press down. Okay. And then any place that's kind of like sticking up, I want to put down a little bit of glue, because I will tell you this, with any type of embossing paste, the glitter paste, tape will not stay, okay? You have to use wet glue with your tape. It's a must, because if not, it's gonna what's the word I'm looking for? It's not gonna really adhere the way that you want it to. Okay. All right. So now I've gotten my photo. I trimmed it down so that the photo is basically like 3.5 by 5.5, and then I made the mat, which is like basically craft paper. I made it a 1/4 inch bigger, and then the heart paper underneath that, I made another 1/4 inch bigger. Okay. All right. Okay, so now we're just picking out some of our ephemera, just trying to see what we have left, because we're coming down to the last little bits of the ephemera pack. And just want to make sure that all the bits that I want to use I have out. I decided to use that bike. I had it out on my live on Sunday because I was gonna use it, and then I didn't, and I'm like, you know what? It's got to get used. It doesn't make sense. We don't have a bike. We did take a drive, so I know where me and my friend went. We had to drive there, but there's no cars in this collection. But I could use a bike. And then I just put the word together over top of it. I really like the flowers that are in the basket. And then from the sticker sheet, I'm going to use, it says together is the best place to be. That's going to go up top. And once I got that pretty much laid out. I'm like, you know what? Let's go ahead and start layering. Now, if you wanted to, you could pop up your photo. You could pop up different elements. Sometimes I like to leave mine flat. So on this particular one, I'm leaving everything just straight to the page. I didn't use any of my foam, but you could if you wanted to. And then that little tag over on the left side, that It has a little bit of space where if I wanted to, I could put the date and just put where we went. It doesn't have to always be a big dissertation when you're talking about the photo or the memory that you're trying to keep. So, you don't need a whole lot of space sometimes. And since I don't like my handwriting, that little bit of space is probably perfect. All right, so we put down the good times. We're going to go ahead and glue um, the bike down. And it just turns out that at that very bottom part, there wasn't a whole lot of the glitter paste. So it fit perfectly there with the bike. And then we're going to put the together over top of it. So it says Good Times, which is the main title. And then it's like Good Times Together. And then don't forget, I have that sticker that we're getting ready to put up at the top. And then I'm going to check to see if there's anything else on the sticker sheet that I can use. I think we're going to wind up using the Sweet, which is like a little tab. I always like to put tabs on my layouts. Don't ask me why, but I do. If I see it, if it's with the collection, I'm probably going to grab it. And then I'm just going to trim that little edge that's sticking off. I'm going to trim that off. And then let's see. Let's start using, you know what? We're going to use, I have a heart that I put up there on the top right hand side, but I'm going to wind up moving that down by Good Times. And then I'm going to take some of the stickers, because these are like clear stickers. I'm going to put some hearts around with that. I really like the sticker sheets. They're very, very sticky, and I haven't had to like glue as well to put them down. Like they literally they go down very well. And if I didn't mention, this is Cocoa Vanilla. This is their These Days. I don't know if it's still available or not, but I still have it out, and I want to use up the rest of the kit. So that's why I keep using it. I'm like, as soon as I see it, I'm like, yeah, let's use it. Let's use it. All right. And we're going to take some butterflies from the sticker sheet. And I put 2 flower clusters, one at the top right-hand side, one at the bottom left of the striped pattern paper. Just to have something like kind of peeking out. And then, of course, the hearts. And we're going to add a 3rd butterfly. Yeah, I like how that turned out. Sometimes it can be just kind of simple. It doesn't have to be too much or overly done, because we have those stars in the embossing paste that you want to stand out. I don't want to cover it all up. And I think it lends itself exactly where it is. Now I did decide to add the 2 little banners up in the top left, and I like those up there. And then we're going to put another heart, because I do find 2 more of the like the paper hearts, like the yellow one. So I'm going to put those down as well. So we pretty much have everything down in 3s. Okay. All right. And then we're going to cover up our photo. And once we put down the hearts, we're going to get to my favorite part, which is the splatters. I love doing splatters. And especially with this, I have the Pecan Peach Nouveau Mica Mist. And we're going to splatter with that first. And then we're going to splatter with some gold. Which you would think, like, gold, is it, should we, shouldn't we? Why not? There's some yellow in the pattern paper, so you can definitely get by with it. And then the white, just because on darker colored paper, the white really stands out, and I like that for my 3rd color. So that's what we're doing here. And then I wish you guys could see in person all of the shimmer. It is so nice. The gold, the peach, the copper stars. I mean, I love bling bling. I think it's fun. And then now we're getting ready to do the white. And after the white, that will be it on the splatters. And our project is done. Now, mind you, this is just one way, right? So here's the, embossing paste with the stencil on the background. Super simple. You could just grab you some colors from Simon Hurley and you just add it, let it dry, and you're done. I want to do a layout on the black foundations paper using the black texture paste from Ranger and Tim Holtz. I think that's going to be really cool. So that's what I'm kind of cooking up next. So we'll see what we can come up with. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Please, if you haven't already, consider hitting the like, subscribe, and share button. And I will see you guys with our next video. I hope you guys have a great one. Bye.